Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is 𝐁𝐸𝐻𝐿, and in today's video, I'll explain you how to secure your application on AWS using AWS Certificate Manager. So we'll be starting completely from scratch. So here you can see this is the architecture right now we are going to follow. So initially, first we are going to create a VPC, and after creating this VPC, we are going to create a public subnet. And after that, we are going to create an internet gateway, and we are going to attach this internet gateway to this VPC. And after that, we are going to create a route table, and we are going to associate our public subnet with this route table. And once the networking setup is ready, we are going to launch an EC2 instance inside this public subnet, and after that we are going to SSH into this EC2 instance, and there we are going to install Nginx web server. Okay, and after installing this, we are going to deploy our static website into this Nginx web server. And after that, using this EC2 instances, we are going to create a target group, and using this target group, we are going to create an application load balancer. Okay, and additionally, I have already purchased a domain name from GoDaddy, which is vijayagirthuri.in. So we'll use that domain name to create an hosted zone on AWS Route 53. And after that, after creating Route 53 hosted zone, we are going to update GoDaddy name servers to point to our Route 53 name servers. And at last, we are going to request a certificate from AWS Certificate Manager. Okay, so at last we can access our application using HTTPS. Okay, that will be secure. So we are going to request a certificate from this AWS Certificate Manager. Okay, so let's implement this everything from scratch. So here you can see this is my AWS management console. So first let's navigate to VPC and directly select here your VPCs. So currently we have only the default VPC. So first let's create a VPC. So directly come here, directly select here create VPC. So initially we need to give the name of the VPC. So let's give the name like my VPC, and here we need to give the VPC CIDR, which is 10.0.0.0/16 I'm giving, and directly select here create VPC. So now successfully we created a VPC. So now we need to create a public subnet inside this VPC. So let's directly come here and directly select here subnets, and directly select create subnet, and directly drop down this and directly select my VPC. Okay, so now here it is asking under which VPC you want to create this subnet. It is asking. So I want to create this subnet under my VPC. So that's why here I'm going to select my VPC. So this is the VPC CIDR. Okay. So now we need to create a subnet. So name I'm giving public subnet 1. Now here availability zone I am going to select US East 1A, and this is the VPC CIDR. Okay, so now we need to provide subnet CIDR, which is 10.0.0.0/24. Okay, I'm going with the 256 IP addresses. Okay, so directly select here create subnet. So here you can see subnet has been created successfully. So let me select here edit subnet settings, and I'm going to enable auto assign public IP address for this subnet. So when we create any of the EC2 instance inside the subnet, automatically that auto assign public IP address will be in enable state, guys. Okay, so now successfully we created this subnet, right? So now we need to create an internet gateway, and we need to attach this internet gateway to this VPC. So directly jump on to internet gateways and directly select here create internet gateway. So name my IGW. So this is the name I am giving. So directly select here create internet gateway. So now here you can see successfully we created internet gateway, but currently state it is in detached mode. So here you can see no VPC is using this internet gateway. So now we need to attach this internet gateway to a VPC. Okay, so directly come here and directly select here attach to VPC, and here directly drop down this. So here you need to select this VPC, which is my VPC, and directly select here create attach internet gateway. Okay, so now here you can see state has been changed to attached, and this internet gateway has been associated with this my VPC. So now we need to create a route table. So directly select here route tables and select create route table. So here we need to give the route table name my route table. Okay, so or else let me give route table, and here we need to select VPC, under which VPC you want to create this route table. It is asking, so I want to create under my VPC. So directly select this and directly select create route table. Okay, so here you can see a route table has been created under my VPC. So now we need to associate our public subnet with this route table. Okay, so directly select here and directly select subnet associations and directly select edit subnet associations. and this is the public subnet. Directly select this and select save associations. Okay, so now here you can see our subnet has been associated successfully with this route table. So now we need to update routes. So directly select your routes and edit routes, add route, and here 0.0.0.0/0, and through internet gateway I'm going to provide internet access for this route table. Okay, so directly select this internet gateway and directly select save changes. Okay, so successfully we updated routes. So now here the networking setup is ready. So here you can see successfully we created a VPC, we created a public subnet, and we created internet gateway, and we attached this internet gateway to this VPC, and we created a route table, and we associated our public subnet with this route table. Okay, so entire networking setup is ready. So now we need to create an EC2 instance inside this public subnet. Okay, so directly come here and directly jump on to EC2. I will open this in a new tab and directly select here instances. So currently, let's wait. So here you can see, so this is my old instance. So let's create a new instance. Okay, so let's directly select here launch instance, and now here name I'm giving ACM instance. Okay, Amazon Certificate Manager instance. Okay, so this is the name I'm giving. So here I'm going to select Ubuntu and I'll come down, and here I'm going with T2 micro. So T2 micro is more than enough for this configuration, guys. Okay, so here keypad, so I'm going with new keypad. So already I have this keypad in my local machine. So if you want to create a new keypad, so directly select here create new keypad, and you can directly select you need to provide the name of the keypad and directly select your .name and directly select here create keypad. Okay, automatically a private key will be downloaded to your local machine. So currently I'm going to select here new keypad. So I have this keypad in my local machine. Okay, so this is the main thing, networking settings. So previously we created a VPC and subnet, right? So we need to select that VPC and subnet here. So directly select here edit, and here we need to select my VPC, and we need to select this public subnet. Okay, so now here you can say auto assign public IP. It is in enable state. But why? Because means while creating subnet we automatically enable this. Okay, so here firewalls. So now let me select here ACM hyphen firewall or else ACM hyphen SG. ACM security group, Amazon certificate manager security group, and here Amazon certificate manager security group description also. Okay, so currently in inbound security group rule, I'm going to provide SSH access, and I'm going to add another security group rule which is HTTP. Okay, so directly select here add security group rule, and here I'm going to select HTTP, and here source type anywhere. Okay, and I'm going with the default storage which is 8 GB. 8 GB is more than enough for our deployment, guys. Okay, so directly select here launch instance. So meanwhile, let me keep it here. And let me open this repo, and let me come down. So let me select this test repo. So let me open this index.html. So meanwhile, let's come here and directly select your instances. Okay, so let me refresh this, and or else let me keep instance state is equal to running. So here you can see my instance is in up and running. So now let's connect to this instance and let's install Nginx. Okay. So let's come here. So here I'm going to connect using Cloud Shell itself, or else you can directly connect using Mogo XTM Putty, or it may be anything. So right now I'm going to connect using Cloud Shell. So directly select this EC2 instance and connect, and directly come down and directly select your connect. Okay. So let's wait. It is connecting to our EC2 instance. So here you can see it is successfully connected. So initially we need to update our virtual machine by hitting sudo apt update -y. So it will update our virtual machine. Now let's clear this screen. Now let's directly hit sudo su. Okay. So currently now we are in root user, guys. Okay. So now I'm going to install nginx apt install nginx-y. Okay. So here you can see successfully we SSH into this EC2 instance, and here we are going to install nginx. Okay. So okay, it is installed successfully. So now let's start this systemctl start nginx. Okay. So now let's enable this nginx. Enable nginx. Okay, it's enabled successfully. So now let's see the status of this nginx. Let's directly hit status. Okay, so here you can see our nginx web server is active and running. Okay, so now let's try to access this web page, whether it is accessing or not. Okay, so let's directly open this and copy your public IPv4 address. Open a new tab, and here you need to hit http :// and you need to provide your public IP address with port 80. Okay, nginx by default runs under the port of 80. So here you can see welcome to nginx. Okay, so currently it is working fine. So now let's deploy a sample web page into this nginx web server. So let's come here, and first let's go to this path. So by default nginx web server path is cd where www.html. So this is the default path. So inside this path we have this nginx index.html file. So let me remove this index file rm. So successfully we remove that file. So now I'm going to create another file which is vim index.nginx -debian .html. So please don't remove that file, guys. Instead of removing that, directly enter into that file and directly remove entire content. Okay, so that will be a better thing. Okay, so directly select enter and directly keep this in insert mode. So now I will copy this entire content. Okay, and I'll come here and I'll paste it here. Okay, now I will come here. Now here I'm going to modify to this is a sample message, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to modify to hello everyone from ACM. Okay, so I'm giving like this. So let's save this. Now let's come here and let's refresh this. So here you can see hello everyone from Amazon Certificate Manager. It will display a small message like this. Okay, so now up to now we have done networking settings, and we have created EC2 instance, and we have associated into this EC2 instance, and there we installed nginx. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create a target group using this EC2 instance. Okay, so now let's directly come here, and here in EC2 dashboard directly come down, and here you need to select target groups. So directly select this target group, and here you can see currently we don't have a single target group. So directly select here create target group. So here basic configuration, here choose target type. Here we need to select instance. So currently we are targeting instance only, right? So here you need to select instances. Okay, and target group name, let me provide name like ACM-TG. Okay, Amazon Certificate Manager target group. Okay, so protocol I'm going to provide HTTP, and IPv4 address type is IPv4, and here I'm going to select my VPC and HTTP1. And now let's come down, and here you can see health checks I'm going with HTTP, and leave this everything by default and directly select next. And here you need to select your instance. This is our EC2 instance, ACM instance. Okay, so directly select this, and in this EC2 instance my application is running on port 80. So by default leave this and directly select here include as pending below. So here you can see automatically it has added to targets. So directly select here create target group. Okay, so now a target group has been created. So here you can see a target group has been created. Inside this target group we have only one target, that is our EC2 instance, Amazon Certificate Manager instance. Okay, so now what we need to do is using this target group we need to create an application load balancer. So directly select here load balancers and directly select here create load balancer. So when we create any of the load balancers, here we have three different types of load balancers. One is application load balancer, one is network load balancer, one is gateway load balancer. So in next video I will explain you how to create a network load balancer. Okay, so now let's directly select here application load balancer, and first you need to give the application load balancer name ACM hyphen application let me provide load balancer, or else let me provide LB. Okay, load balancer, Amazon certificate manager, application LB, or else in simplicity let's provide ALB. Okay, it will be better. Okay, so in scheme I'm going to select internet facing, and load balancer IP address type I'm going with IPv4, and in network mapping here we need to select our VPC, under which VPC you have created your EC2 instance. It is asking, so I just created under my VPC, so directly select this and directly come down, and here we need to select this ACM security group. Okay, so meanwhile here we need to select our subnet availability zones also. Directly select this. Okay, so this is our subnet, and directly come down, and here we need to select our target group. Okay, so directly select this target group, and I'm going to leave this everything by default, and directly select here create load balance. Okay, so it is telling error, uh, at least two subnet must be specified. Okay, so it is telling like when you are creating application load balancer we need to add at least two subnets, guys. Okay, so now let's go back, and here let's jump on to VPC, and let's create another subnet. So directly select your subnets and create subnet. So you need to create under my VPC, so directly select here my VPC, and here let me provide public subnet 2. Okay, and here availability zone I'm going to select, first let me check in which availability zone we created this public subnet 1. So public subnet 1 is created under US East 1A. Okay, so now let me create an US East 1B. So directly select VPC, which is my VPC, and here subnet, which is public subnet 2. Okay, now here availability zone I'm going to select US East 1B or else US East 1C. You can select whatever you want. So this is the VPC CID, and we need to go the subnets here 10.0.1.0/24. So previously we have given 0, right? So if you select 10.0.0.0, it will compose this. Why? Because means for public subnet 1 we have given that same CID. CID should not overlap within the VPC. Okay, so directly select here create subnet. Okay, so now here you can see a subnet has been created. Let me select the subnet, edit actions, edit subnet settings, enable automation public IPv4 address. Okay, save this. Now you need to associate the subnet with route table. So directly select your route tables and directly select your route table. This is RT. Okay, directly select this route table. Now here directly select subnet associations, and here you need to select edit subnet associations and directly select public subnet 2 and directly select save associations. So now our public subnet 2 has been successfully associated with this route table, guys. Okay, so now let's try to create a load balancer. Now directly select your load balancers and create load balancer, and here we need to select application load balancer. So directly select here create, and here ACM-ALB application load balancer. Okay, scheme I'm going to select internet facing, load balancer IP address type I'm going to select IPv4, and in network mapping here we need to select my VPC. Okay, so now here you can see now it is showing two different subnets. That means we created two different subnets. One subnet we created on US East 1A, one subnet we created on US East 1C, right? So it is showing the two subnets. So directly select the two subnets and come down. So by default it is taking the default security group. So let me add my own security group, which is ACM security group. Select this. Here listeners and routing. So currently my application is listening on port 80. So directly select here port 80 and directly drop down this target group. So you need to select this target group. Okay, so this is the mandatory thing. So directly select this target group, and I'm going to leave this everything by default. Okay, so directly come down and directly select here create load balancer. Okay, so here you can see successfully load balancer has been created, but currently status is it is in provisioning state. So here we need to see active state. Okay, so now we can access our application using this DNS name, guys. Okay, so now if I copy this and if I paste it here, it will not work. Okay, let me hit enter. So here you can see this site can't be reached. Why? Because means currently state it is in provisioning. Okay, so here you can see status it is in provisioning. So it takes nearly 3 to 5 minutes to come to active state, guys. Okay, so we need to wait for that time. So meanwhile let me close this. Okay, so now we are going to access our website using this load balancer DNS. So let me open this. So once our load balancer DNS state has been comes to active state, we are going to create a Route 53 hosted zone with my GoDaddy domain name. Okay, so Let's wait. We need to see here add to. So let me refresh this. Currently it is in provisioning. So I will be back when this state is in add to. Okay. So let's wait for some time. So here you can see after 5 minutes state has been changed to add to. So now let's try to access our static website using our load balancer DNS name. So let me copy this load balancer DNS name. Let me open a new tab, and here http colon slash slash you need to provide that DNS name. So here you can see hello everyone from Amazon Certificate Manager. So currently we are going to accessing this application using this load balancer DNS name. Okay, so here you can see this is our load balancer DNS name. So now let me open this architecture. Up to now we created load balancer, right? So now we need to create a Route 53 hosted zone with my GoDaddy domain name. Okay, so let me open GoDaddy web page, GoDaddy login. Let me open this. So, and let's wait. Let me close this, and here directly select my products, and directly select your DNS. Okay, so here you can see. So previously I purchased a domain name with name vijaygiridthuri.in. So I'm going to use this domain name to create a hosted zone on Route 53. Okay, so let me open Route 53 in a new tab. Okay, let me come here. So directly select your hosted zones. Okay, so currently here you can see currently we don't have even single hosted zone. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create an Route 53 hosted zone with this domain name, which is vijaygiridthuri.in. Okay, so let me copy this domain name and let me jump on to Route 53 hosted zones. So directly select here create hosted zone, and here you need to give that domain name. So here you can see in GoDaddy we have this domain name, right? So you need to provide this domain name Route 53 hosted zone. So let me provide it here. So vijaygiridthuri.in. Okay, and here type I'm going to select public hosted zone. So directly select here create hosted zone. Let's wait. So here you can see our hosted zone has been created successfully. So by default, when you create any of the hosted zone, by default name servers and startup authentication will be created by default. Okay, so now what we need to do is so these are the name servers. NS stands for name servers. So these are all the name servers. So let me select this. So now we need to update this 4 name servers on GoDaddy name servers. Okay, so now let me open this GoDaddy, and here you can see name servers. So directly select your name servers, and here you can see these are the GoDaddy name servers. So instead of this you need to update this Route 53 name servers. Okay, so directly come here, directly select change name servers. So here you need to select I'll use my own name servers, directly select this, and now you need to provide this 4 name servers. So first let's copy this first name server ns1072, and let me paste it here. So here you can see ns1072 AWS DNS. Okay, ns1072 AWS DNS. So let me copy second one ns839 AWS DNS. Let me copy the second DNS ns839 AWS DNS. Now let's add third name server. Let me come here and copy this third name server ns82 AWS DNS. Let me paste it here ns82 AWS DNS. Okay, let me add fourth name server. Copy this fourth name server ns1948 AWS DNS and paste the fourth name server ns1948 AWS DNS. Okay, successfully we copied all these 4 name servers, which is Route 53 name servers, to GoDaddy name servers. Okay, so directly select yes, save, and directly select here continue. Okay, so here you can see still it is showing GoDaddy name server. So first let me refresh this entire page. Okay, okay, let me retry this. So here you can see these are our Route 53 name servers ns1072 AWS DNS. Here you can see ns1072 AWS DNS, ns82 AWS DNS, ns1948 AWS DNS. NS82 AWS DNS, NS1948 AWS DNS. Okay, successfully our Route 53 name servers has been updated in GoDaddy name servers. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to come here and we need to create a record inside this name servers. That a record needs to point to this application load balancer, guys. Okay, so now let's come here and directly select here create record, and here record name I'm going with directly, I'm not going to add any of the subdomains, I'm going with directly vijayagirthuri.in. Okay, so this is the main thing. Record type, here you need to select a record. So here a record routes traffic to IPv4 address and some AWS resources, guys. Okay, so here you need to enable this alias, and here you need to choose load balancer endpoint. Okay, so directly select this, and here you need to select alias to application and classic load balancer. So currently we created an application load balancer, right? So that's where you need to select application and classic load balancer. So here you need to choose region. So in which region you created your load balancer, it is asking. So currently this is my load balancer, right? So I created my load balancer on US East 1. So directly come here, and here region US East 1, North Virginia. Okay, so directly select this. So now here it will populate our load balancer. Here you can see ACM-ALB. That means our load balancer. Here you can see ACM-ALB. This is our load balancer. So directly select this load balancer. Okay, so now routing policy, I'm going with simple routing, and directly select here create record. Okay, a record will be created on Route 53 hosted zone. So let me check the status for this record. So directly select view status. So currently status it is in pending. So here we need to see in sync, guys. Okay, so let's wait for some time. So most probably it will update in less than 30 seconds to 1 minute. So meanwhile, let me open DNS propagation checker. So let me open this DNS propagation checker, and here we need to provide our domain name vijayagirthuri.in and record type, which is a record. That is select here search. Okay, let's wait. So DNS needs to update, guys. Okay, so it takes nearly 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes it will take 30 minutes, and sometimes it will take more than hours, guys. Okay, so currently here in the status it is in IN6. Okay, there is no problem. So now let me select here hosted zones and directly select their hosted zone. Okay, so now here DNS needs to update, so we need to wait for some time. So sometimes it will update in less than 10 minutes, and sometimes it will update more than 2-3 hours, guys. Okay, we need to wait for that time. So once the DNS records has been updated, we can access our application using our domain name, using this domain name vijayagirthuri.in. So previously we accessed it using this load balancer DNS, right? So here you can see, here we accessed it using load balancer DNS, but we created a record using this we created an hosted zone, we created a record with this application load balancer, right? So now we can access our application using this domain name, which is vijayagirthuri.in. Okay, so let me come here and let me refresh this page. So still it is not populating, so I will be back once it is populated. So after it is ready, we need to request a certificate from AWS certificate manager, guys. Okay, so this is the final step. So let's wait for some time until DNS records are updated. Okay, so let's wait for some time. So almost 10 minutes has been completed. So now let me try to access our website using this domain name, which is vijayagirthuri.in. Okay, so let me open a new tab, and here you need to hit http://vijayagirthuri.in. Okay, let me. So here you can see currently our request is going to this vijayagirthuri.in. Okay, so here you can see I can successfully access my application with this domain name. Okay, so now what we need to do is, so up to now we have done up to Route 53, right? So now we need to request a public certificate for our domain, for our vijayagirthuri.in domain, guys. Okay, so let's do that now. Let's directly open a new tab, and here we need to search for certificate manager. Okay, so you need to open this in a new tab. I will open this in a new tab, and here, so here you can see currently we don't have even single certificate, guys. Okay, so now using this Amazon certificate manager, we are going to request a certificate for our domain. So currently here you can see currently it is not secure. So using this Amazon Certificate Manager, we are going to convert to HTTPS. That means secure connection, guys. Okay. So let's do this. So let's directly come here and directly select here request certificate. So here you can see certificate type it is asking. So we need to create a public, we need to request a public certificate. Here you can see request a public SSL and TLS certificate from Amazon. By default, public certificate are trusted by browsers and operating systems, guys. Okay. So we need to request a public certificate for our domain. So here you need to select request a public certificate and directly select here next. And here in domain names, we need to provide our fully qualified domain name. So here you can see this is my domain name, which is vijayagidthuri.in. So you need to provide the same domain name on Amazon Certificate Manager. Okay. So this is the same domain name, vijayagidthuri.in. Okay. So in your case, that will be different domain names, right? So you need to provide your domain names to your Amazon Certificate Manager. Okay. So here validation method I'm going with DNS validation, and key algorithm I'm going with RST2048. Okay. So this is for encryption algorithm, guys. Okay. So directly select your request. So here you can see now the certificate is ready, but currently it is in the pending validation. So now we need to update this certificate on Route 53, guys. Okay. So let me select here list certificates and refresh this. So here you can see our certificate is ready, but status currently it is in pending validation. Okay. So let me refresh this. So it takes nearly 2 to 5 minutes to come to active state. Okay. So let me open this certificate. So now what we need to do is like we need to update this certificate on AWS Route 53. You can directly select this certificate. So if you select your list certificate, this is your certificate, right? So you can directly open your certificate and you can directly come down in domains. You can see your domain. Okay. So here you can directly select create record in Route 53. Okay. So it will create a CNAME record on Route 53. Here you can see this is the CNAME record. So this record will be updated on AWS Route 53. Okay. So let me open this Route 53 first and let me refresh this. So here you can see when I refresh this, currently we have only three records. One is a record for our application load balancer. Name servers record we updated on GoDaddy name server site. So this is one record and this is a startup authentication record. Okay. Now when we hit this, let me open the certificate manager. When I hit this create records in Route 53, it will update this CNAME record on this Route 53 hosted zone. Okay. So let me select here create record in Route 53 and directly select here create records. So now here you can see a record will be updated on Route 53. You can see successfully created DNS records. Okay. So successfully created DNS records in Amazon Route 53 for certificate with ID. So this is a certificate ID. Okay. So let me open this. So currently here it is showing three records only, right? So when I refresh this Route 53 hosted zone, it will show four records. So here you can see a new record has been updated, CNAME record. So let me keep it like this. Let me drag it up to here. So here you can see 4E56CBB. Okay, right? So let me come down. So you can see 4E56CBB. At last vijayagidthuri.in. Okay. So here you can see at last vijayagidthuri.in. Okay. This record has been updated by certificate manager. Okay. AWS certificate manager. So now let's come here. Let me see the status. So currently it is in pending validation. Here we need to see I think ready or else add to. Okay. So let's wait for that time. Let me refresh this or else let me select list certificates. So here you can see currently state has been changed to issued. Okay, not ready, it is issued. Okay, so let me open this. So currently our certificate has been issued. So now successfully we can access our website using HTTPS. Okay, but we need to update records on load balancers, listeners and rules. Okay, before that, so directly open your load balancer, directly come down, and here in load balancers we need to select this load balancer, select this load balancer, and you need to select your listeners and rules. So currently our application is listening on port 80. Okay, that means HTTP. Okay, so here you can see this is HTTP, but we need to add another listener to listen on HTTPS, which is port 443. Okay, so directly select here add listener, and here you need to select protocol type as HTTPS. Here it will automatically populate 443. By default HTTPS will run on port 443. Okay, so now here you need to select redirect to URL. Now Here you need to select, okay, sorry. Here in routing actions, you need to select forward to target groups, okay, not to redirect to URL. You need to select forward to target group, and in target group, you need to select your load balancer target group, which is ACM target group. And now you need to come down. So here in default SSL and TLS server certificate, here you need to provide your certificate, guys. Okay, you need to directly drop down this, and you need to select this certificate, and you need to come down, and you can directly select your add. Okay, so now here you can see port 443 also it is added, and currently it is secured by AWS certificate manager. Here you can see this is the certificate. Okay, so now uh, still we need to do one thing. Successfully we have added this, let me open this. Okay, successfully we have added this 443 rule on listeners and rules, right? So now what we need to do is we need to update our security group. That means we need to add one another rule on security group, which is port 443. So let me open this security, and this ACM security group, this is our security group, right? You can directly open this security group. Let's wait. So here you can see in inbound rules, you need to select edit inbound rule. So in this inbound rule, currently it is listening on HTTP, which is port 80, and it has only SSH, which is 22. But we haven't provided port 443 for HTTPS, guys. Okay, so you need to add that rule also. You can directly select add rule, and here you need to select HTTPS. Okay, directly select this HTTPS. So here you can see automatically it is taken this port, which is 443. By default HTTPS will run under the port of 443. Okay, so here I'm going to select anywhere from IPv4, and directly select your save rule. Okay, so now here you can see our security group rule has also updated successfully. So now let's come here and directly refresh this. Still it is going to not secure. Okay, so why? Because means currently our load balancer is listening on two rules, which is 80 and 443. Okay, so now let me come here, and instead of HTTP you need to provide HTTPS. Okay, so this is the secure way. Okay, so here you can see request has gone to HTTPS. So when I hit this, here you can see connection is secure. So if you want to see the certificate is valid. So here you can see this is the certificate which is provided by Amazon certificate manager, guys. Okay, so this is how you can add security to your applications which is hosted on AWS, guys. Okay, now currently it is going to HTTP and as well as HTTPS. Why? Because means in load balancer listeners and rules we have given 80 and 443, right? So whenever user hit HTTP, it needs to redirect to HTTPS, means you need to add redirection rule on HTTP. Okay, so let me close this, and let me try to hit http://vijayagidpuri.in. So it is going to secure, but previously it has gone to not secure only, right? So if you want to redirect that HTTP rule to HTTPS, you need to update some rules, guys. Okay, you can directly jump onto this load balancer. So this is our load balancer, right? In listeners and rules, you need to open this HTTP, which is port 80. You need to open this rule, and you need to select actions, and you need to select this edit. Okay, you need to select this default rule, and here you need to select actions, and here you need to select edit rule. Okay, now here we need to select redirect to URL, and here currently when any request coming from HTTPS, it needs to redirect to this URL. That means it needs to redirect to HTTPS, which is port 443. Okay, so this is what it will happen whenever user hit http://vijayagidpuri.in, automatically it will redirect request to this HTTPS. Okay, so here you can see status code 301 permanently moved. It will be permanently moved to HTTPS. Okay, so directly select your save changes. So here you can see automatically here you can see default actions, it will redirect to HTTPS. Okay, which is port 443. Okay, so now let me close this. Let me open a new tab. Here https://vijayagidpuri.in. So here you can see it is going to secure connection. Okay, here you can see connection is secure, and it is going to HTTPS. Okay, so this is how you can deploy your applications on AWS, and you can secure it using AWS certificate manager. Okay, so this is the inbuilt service which is provided by Amazon Web Services. Okay, this is the one of the great thing. So now entire setup has been completed, right? So after completing your labs, try to delete entire resources, guys, because AWS will charge some of the amount from you. That's why you need to delete entire resources. So now I will explain you how to delete entire resources step by step. So let me close this first. Here you can see again I'm telling you it is going to HTTPS. Okay. So let me close this and let me close this. Okay. So now first let me jump on to instances and let me select this ACM instance, instance state and terminate and terminate. Okay. So now first we need to delete this EC2 instance, and now before deleting this target group you need to delete load balancer, guys. Okay. So directly select load balancers and select your load balancer, the actions, and delete load balancer, and here directly select confirm and directly select delete. So here you can see our load balancer has been deleted successfully. So now we need to delete target group. So if you are trying to delete target group first, means it will throw an error. By default, you need to delete this load balancer first. Okay. So directly select this target group actions and delete and delete. Okay. So now this target group also has been deleted. Okay. So meanwhile, let me open this instances. So currently it is in shutting down state. So meanwhile, let me delete this route 53 hosted zone. So before deleting this hosted zone, you need to delete these two records manually. So this is the record which is updated by AWS Certificate Manager, and this is the record which is forwarded by AWS Load Balancer. Okay. So you need to delete these two records. Directly select two records, delete records, and delete. Okay. Now two records will be deleted. Okay. So now you can directly delete this hosted zone. Directly select your hosted zone, delete, and here delete. Okay. Hosted zone also deleted successfully. So now let me come here and let me refresh this. So here you can see our instance has been terminated, right? So now we can directly delete VPC. So before deleting this VPC, let me delete this certificate. Directly select your list certificates. So this is our certificate. Currently it is issued. Okay. So directly select the certificate and delete, and directly select delete and delete. So here you can see our certificate also has been deleted successfully. So now at last let me delete this VPC and directly select this VPC and directly select your my VPC and here directly select resource map. So here you can see when you delete only single VPC, inside this VPC we have two subnets out the tables and internet gateway side. Entire resources will be deleted successfully. Okay. So directly select this VPC actions and delete VPC. Let me come down and directly select here delete and delete. Okay. So now this VPC will delete subnets, route tables, and internet gateways and everything. Okay. So let me refresh this. Our VPC also has been deleted. So entire resources has been deleted successfully, guys. Okay. So and yes, that's it for today's video. And if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And see you in the next video. And bye.